What up, yo? Matthew Maley from MatthewMaley.com. Just got back from the casino. Was just out at Fort McDowell and wanted to do a quick recap video. Went out there with three of my buddies to play in the $40 tournament. It's actually a pretty good event. It's a deep stack, so you start off with 10,000 chips. Blinds start off at 25.50, but blinds for the first for the first hour or 15 minutes. And then after that, they start going 20 minutes. So it's kind of a fast, structure. But for that many chips, it's actually all right. So you can get out of there at a decent hour. Ended up pretty card dead in the beginning, to be quite honest. I couldn't get anything going. I really, best hand I had up until that point, I had pocket tens, but there was a raise and a call. And I think another re-raise prior to that. So I ended up mucking my tens, which sucked because on the river I would have ended up having a full house against somebody's queen high flush. So it actually could have paid me off decently. Maybe not great, but decently. So sadly that didn't pan out. Then I picked up pocket fives on the button and made a decent sized raise. I'm sorry, in the big blind, and made a raise after I had two callers. Ended up coming around at two callers again and ended up with the flop of Jack 4-7. So not a great flop for fives, but made a continuation bet on it. Got called by both of them. We checked it down the rest of the way. They both had a jack. One had a Jack 9, one had King Jack. So I ended up losing that pot, and I ended up mucking for about the next hour. Jack 4, 8-3, 7-5, 6-4, 6-9, 8-5. Just typical running bad, typical muck, typical just garbage hands. So I finally picked up pocket aces on the big blind and got under the gun raised. One person called. I re-raised. At this point, the blinds were 200, 400. He raised it to 1850. I made it all the way up to 4850. Both people called. Flop came out. I had the ace of spades, ace of hearts. Flop came out 10, 8, 4, 2 spades, and a club. I actually pushed all in the dark, trying to vary up my play a little bit, kind of in a way hoping that he thought I was on an ace-king type of a hand where I was just trying to take the hand down right there and maybe didn't give me credit for a hand as strong as aces, or maybe thought I was trying to make a move with a really small pocket pair and had a bigger pocket pair. I was really just trying to, it's kind of funny, in a way I was trying to be trappy by being almost flippant, almost just kind of blase about the hand. Ended up, the guy in next position who was under the gun pre-flop, he ended up folding, came around to the guy who was on the dealer button, who ended up calling with King Jack of spades. Of course, turn card came a spade, and so now I had a redraw of my spades. Sadly didn't hit. So I got knocked out in probably about 40-something's position, maybe early 40s to late 30s position, out of 65, I think, but didn't pay anything. So after meandering through Fort McDowell's newly renovated, well, at least new to me, it's been renovated for a while now, but I hadn't been through there in a while. After going through and getting my player's card and dropping $100 playing blackjack, stupid way, I went back in and sat down at the 3-6 table, which, as many of you know, I'm not a limit player at all, especially not 3-6. 3-6, as I've always said, is a very slow bleed. You're constantly bleeding. All you can ever try to do is bandage up pack up the bandages enough to slow the bleed. That's all it ever is. So I actually started off pretty well. Was running pretty hot. Got up to, I bought in for a stack, or for $100 for a rack of singles, and ended up to almost 140 pretty easy. Then all it takes is a couple bad two pairs, and I had one where I flopped two pair, guy rivered a better two pair. Had another one where I was drawing at a straight draw and a flush draw, with it being 4-bet on the flop and turn, and then just 3-bet on the river. There was 3 people in the pot, so it was a huge pot. had great odds, but didn't get there. And next thing I know, I'm, pretty much dead and end up dropping my whole amount. I hate limit, period. Especially 3-6, because you cannot get anybody out, period. So I was on the board for the no limit game, was going to play the no limit game, but when they called it was when my buddies were on break from the tournament. So I went outside to chill with them on the tournament from the break, and that's when they call it. So I ended up missing out on my opportunity for that. So I played that 3-6 and then just kind of waited around. So overall, it was a bad night, but I did pretty well on Rush Poker earlier. I finally ventured up. I'm trying to step my game up a little bit. I usually have been playing the 25-cent, 50-cent Rush Poker, the no limit. Today I stepped up to the 50-cent $1 Rush no limit and ended up making an $80 profit in probably about 35-40 minutes. So it was actually pretty solid. I was running pretty well. I was making some good moves. Had a couple hands, kind of typical bad luck when you get on online poker, or you give a little bit too much credit to a hand that you maybe shouldn't. You automatically assume that, everybody online's playing, ace rag or just garbage hands when, you maybe when they were raising, they weren't raising with ace 4 offsuit, they were actually raising with queens, and when you call them with threes pre-flop for $40, it doesn't really help. Yes, that was experience today. Anyway, just wanted to say what's up. It's Thursday night. I've actually got to do some work right now before tomorrow. It's a busy day at work, so I don't know how much poker I'm going to get to play this weekend. But just wanted to say what's up. Say, have a good weekend, everybody, if I don't send up a video. And hope everybody's doing well. I'm going to try to start a new weekly thing every Friday on a video, or on a DVD. Just a favorite DVD, just kind of a DVD rental. And I got some new shoe reviews coming up. I made some new purchases lately, so Jordan collection's growing. Anyway, I'm out for the evening. Just want to say what's up. And once again, Matthew Maley from MatthewMaley.com. Signing off. Peace.